Hi Capricorns, welcome to your bonus or extended. If you check out on Instagram, I added an image with scribe sites of your inkblot from just the other day. But I wanted to revisit it. Cap some things that floated with me when I was driving along the asphalt rivers, and then welcome in new things, new perspective, while appreciating the old. So you're welcome to join me. We'll call this like a blot bonus, if we will. Okay, so Capricorns, last time, if I recall, some key things that stood out for me were language and cat and dog came out in different forms of the cards. And what kind of stuck with me as I was driving along was, there might be a communication with the father figure or a male, even in a contract if it was business, to notice the language, right? Take that pause. Appreciate the space that people, a father, someone else, may communicate differently. If you've been feeling like you're at odds, cats and dogs, there is an ability to live harmonious, as we've seen, but maybe just appreciating maybe someone's love language is different, whether that be platonic, romantic, or in a parenting child role. The other thing that stood out for me was the spider that I saw that jumped out was so lovingly, that was in the trellis of sorts. When I came back this morning, it was quite early here, is the crab. And I noted that here. And Cancer being our sister sign or, opposing sign. But I'm seeing it like in the color wheel. And what came through was care about the heart. All this green foliage kept coming at me, not Andre, the Jolly Green Giant. And something about how this red crab of care reminded me that the work being done, even though it might feel sideways sometimes in the way you might be moving, if it's perceived as lateral, is fueling the root stability, space, this, that, or the other. It may have something to do with that relationship as well, or resonance as well. Capricorn, so much came flooding through, so maybe this is just the way for Capricorns. There's a reading and then there's a revisiting, and I'm loving it. There was, when I revisited Dream Plot in here, there was a desert, and this desert was being walked with, but it really enjoying the dry wind and the dry waves. And as I was still in the aura, it seemed to be like I was in this lack of living landscape, i.e. the desert. But I'll be honest, what I noticed as I followed through with it, I was shuffling my feet, gazing around, knowing there was water once here before at some time. And there are treasures. And as I was shuffling my feet through the sand, the Capricorn Collective was picking up bones of history, bones of the past, this, that, or the other, and taking them back to add to the mountain of me. That's how it felt like. Now, whether it was like a ceremony of sorts I was going to do, or I don't mean to be creepy about it, but kind of like a mass grave almost, Capricorns. There could just be a lot of things in reflection that you're going through from this moth to butterfly. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I can be very frank with Capricorns, being a Capricorn. So it's yeah, okay, let's do it. Also with the candy corn, when I came back, I saw it as a shark's tooth. So that symbology may mean something to someone as well. All right. I'm going to re-gaze here. I think that's all I saw this morning when I jumped at it. But if anything else, I did write it down. This is good that I wrote it down. Tinkerbell, working with wishes. I feel like there's this a lightness, even amongst the desert. I want to note that it felt like I was really enjoying the dry air, but I really appreciated and noted how gold the sand was. Capricorns, if that makes sense. And this bone collecting felt very medicinal in some way, shape, or form. Felt very medicinal. Okay, I'm going to carry on here, Capricorns, as your bonus, and I'm going to try and keep it about 15 minutes so you can carry on and enjoy your weekend. Do you have anything else that comes out here? You know what I'm seeing is a vintage Valentine's Day card with like the little Cupid, but it's vintage. I don't know if that's indicative of old love coming through for the Capricorns, or remembering through that desert of reflection what makes you happy. Synergy and healing is coming through. Sorry about my nails. There's that power, the power pentagram. So when I was talking about the bone collecting and the mountain, now that's, I'll be honest, like that, even from a, excuse me, from a personal point of view, I resonate more with that building a mountain, building something with it, and using those pieces to decorate or help my foundation moving forward, being stronger. But now I'm being asked, which is wonderfully interesting, the way what I would perceive as my sister would do, who is also a Capricorn, and she would take like bones from her meat and make a stew and use the marrow moving forward to strengthen another soup, to strengthen another, potion or possibility that I'm working towards. So that might be another way, shape, or form, Capricorns, that you're revitalizing while you're revisiting your history in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I'm going to keep going here. Capricorns, please. Seeing a fish hook. I'm seeing this fish hook, but it's very odd. It's like weird, going from like the desert to water. But I'm placing this fish hook. That's why. Okay. Mischief is coming through. Broom and witch. Okay, so I'm just going to jot these down here for 2 shakes here. And I'll put that up there. Don't be ridiculous. In case if you know me, I read like a vision board. It just creative chaos. So this is what that fish hook is. Keep your eyelids open and slight sharp as nails, for there is something trailing behind your tail. That this fish hook is about trying to capture, perhaps, anything that you're sensing is trying to synergize while you're healing. And even when I say healing, this just could be growing. But we are human, right? So there's always that ability. If you've been noticing, there might just be this energy entity, thought process that just feels like it's kind of sticking in the Capricorn craw, and it's like, oh, which is great, because even as I did that, it's like the Capricorn growl. It's like, oh. So the fish hook is about trying to almost like bait. Is it bait and switch, or I don't know, to capture it anyway, and kind of get a hold of this thing. Maybe you'll throw it back in the waters and send it back to source. Maybe you'll make a stew with it. I don't know. There's the broom here. What dreams may come from what you seek, make room, make way, a clearing need be. And this is at least how I'm resonating. But of course, if you know me, please follow what you see, sense, and feel, more importantly than my yammering and ramblings. But I appreciate the space as I'm in your aura. Maintain housekeeping. I feel like a lot of Capricorns are elevating and going through history and the future with equal probability, possibilities. Nothing is carved in stone unless the Capricorn deems it so. So maybe upgrading your holistic housekeeping, however you choose to do that, saging, smudging. I could also see somebody with this soup of sorts. Maybe you create something that's powerful, that is more, maybe it's herbs, salts, this, that, or the other, and pouring it around the home, or putting some in a bottle, so like a roll-on or something that you can take on the go, or a spritz or a spray, and then corners of your home as well. And I admit, I've been noticing it around me as well. There's just, I guess mischief is a nice word about it as well. But, Capricorns are like, oh, really? No, maybe it's an actual person. You're like, I don't know. A lot of eye rolls this morning for the Capricorns. But you'll grab your broom and you'll get to it. And you know it, whether it's a person or an energy in and of itself, or an energy expressed in a person. And then we have here witch, which is grab hold, allow the dwelling, fire within belly, awaken, and all that is, a mere glimpse, a delicate pull at the very roots, living in the alchemy of self. These are all, so it's kind of like in a story of itself, and I'll try and put them in the right direction. It's like you make this magic elixir of sorts, this bone marrow soup, this powerful mountain, because you know something is around you, person, place, or thing. And looking at the probabilities through the desert of past and future, with the crab, you're willing to make a lateral moves. You're willing to understand people are speaking different languages. Also, Capricorns, if I may, if it resonates, sometimes people will learn your language to slide in without being as recognized as a mischievous, energy or person, because they paid attention to your words. Sometimes this is great, right? When you mirror each other in language, it's like, oh, okay, we're resonating, you're understanding. Other times it's just very wise wackadoos. Anyway, and then we come into, they don't like me acknowledging that, but it is what it is. Broom to witch, and this goes from the dark to the light. Dark not being bad and the light not being an end result, but it's definitely a balance. Capricorn, just keep up on your housekeeping. And I'm saying that to myself as well. Sorry, morning hair. I don't know why I apologize. It is what it is. Just wake up and sit down. Or it's late at night. What else do we have here for Capricorns as we're getting ready to close out? I'm seeing a playland as well. And I know that came through with like 2 land and a fishy. But this is like coming in like a playland. And I did note that there's a little devil around you as well, which is coming into that mischief. Okay. And, ooh. Sometimes we just got to trust, right, Capricorns? These cards are wonderful, but they are insane to shuffle. I want to note here that prior, like I had wrote measuring here, like that much sugar, that much salt. And it's coming into that bone marrow soup, and it's also coming into the mountain I'm seeing of perspective. Like, oh, it's this close, that far, this close, that far. And I'm like trying to take a measurement of it from afar. I hope this bonus is proving bountiful. Okay, so to close out here, Capricorns, in your bonus, we have the thread, the shaman, the forest, and the queen. I'm going to take 2 shakes here to kind of set them out with everything else I got going on here. Remember we were talking, or at least it quickly came up before, about that snake. Whatever this mischievous thing is. Your crab notices it. I think that's why sometimes your care, right? I'm seeing this crab is like very, very, very red. And they kind of move through. And they're working to protect what it is, like that golden desert of the Capricorn. Whatever it is that you care about. Because it's like a ruby to others. Like for some reason I'm seeing that the Capricorns do say or exude an aura that is like a thread and a forest at the same time. And it kind of can make people feel like there's this lifeline. And the Capricorns are like, I want to teach you to fish. That saying, like, I want to teach you to fish so you can feed yourself. Interesting. So, and it's finding that language to communicate between each other. Whatever this is, the shaman within you, the shamanic energy, the desert, going deep within the void, the dark spaces, the shadow, if I may. You create your own thread, and the snake actually in the positive polarity works for you. Okay, so it's almost as if you have a staff that can turn taut like a thread and always bring you back up, especially if you're doing shadow work or just working on deep healing, or you're dealing with some mischievous energies of your own or of others. And then other times it can become very fluid to protect and coil up Kundalini, if I may. It's when other people's snakes come forward. And you're like, yep, hold on a minute. There's a protection that's around the Capricorn collective as you're going in. And it's in the thread and the forest. But they both have, there's a rainbow up here and there's a rainbow throughout the background of this forest. And this brings me back to, in the simplest way, the witch and the broom. The light and the dark, the light and the dark. Capricorn shark tooth. Somebody might have it on a necklace. Or it could just be a symbol in the mind that you can almost project from your third eye, like a shark tooth. And from any mischief and through your power as well. If you are cleansing this, that, or the other. To put it in like a shark's tooth. Okay, I'm going to let you go, Capricorns. Thank you so much. And maybe we'll do this again. All right, thanks. Bye.